Oh, all right. We're back.
We're back.
Finally, stacking the deck.
Stacking the deck. We don't have our most esteemed co-host, Kurt Taxmaster.
Yeah, y'all are fucked if you want, or screwed. Sorry, that's I don't know.
Brand deals.
Yeah. Y'all are in trouble. Wow, I'm kind of sweaty and humid. Y'all are in trouble if you want card knowledge tonight. So I'm sorry in advance for that.
We talking nothing but recklessness.
Yes, rush recklessing. Now, it's been a minute since we've talked or since we've done the pod, so I guess we should catch up a little bit. What's going on in the Easton Evans card world? I know it was a little Bo Jackson. We still Bo Jacksoning.
Yeah. So they actually just recently had a Star City Games. They've been running this circuit, the Star City Games circuit. So they had Houston last week, and then Baltimore this week. I would have attended, but it was a little bit short notice. So the next one they have is in Vegas. I'll be at that one. And then, we're just kind of getting back in the swing of things with cards. But as people know, Star City Games, they have or SCG Con, they have like Magic, Pokemon, sorcery, the whole nine. So, it's just part of one of the games that's being offered.
Yeah. So, you didn't attend that though, right?
No, I was just spectating or listening to the results that people posted online.
Okay. Yeah. Kurt just won a pack from, I forget what con he was at, but he won
Houston.
Yeah, in Houston. Man, those things expensive.
They're expensive. They are definitely for a interesting and unique ideal customer profile. They are definitely for the sports card enthusiasts or those who are billionaires.
The billionaire profile.
Yeah, billionaire profile.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna have many, but the ones you have, they got something.
Man, I've been I don't know what it is. I've been
what you been doing? What you been up to?
Nothing much card wise. I mean, I've just been doing the bar locals thing with Kurt, but as my guilty pleasure, I've been picking up like some old Yugioh and stuff like that, some old first editions, and it's crazy that like you can buy like a Metal Raiders first edition, even the commons, and maybe that's not that crazy. I don't know, but like for $1, $2, like a common, it's still a common, but like $1, $2 common first edition from a set that's 20 plus years old from an iconic card. I mean, I guess the question is like, what am I going to do with it? I don't know. I just think it's cool. So
yeah. I mean, there's definitely, I think there's very many reasons. There's a lot of reasons to get like a summon skull, but some of the Metal Raiders had some really good cool comments. Like it was before the text boxes got too convoluted and too much stuff on them, and they were simple, 800 attack, 1200.
I love that stuff. Honestly,
me too.
Like the dumb vanillas, there's a certain vibe to it, and yeah.
What set was Thunder Dragon in? Was that Metal Raiders?
Metal Raiders, yeah. Metal Raiders slaps, dude, through and through.
Metal Raiders was a good one.
It's better than Legend of Blue Eyes or whatever. Like, I think if you want like an old school set, that's probably the one to go off of.
And to be fair, it was the one that kind of brought in. Well, Magic Ruler was like.
That one's still cracked to this day. To this day,
cracked.
They still have the cards banned,
Yeah, it's super iconic, but Metal Raiders kind of also brought in some really cool stuff. Because I think, didn't they have
Solemn Judgment?
Yeah, what's the dragon? The Barrel Dragon? Wasn't that in Metal Raiders?
Yeah, Barrel Dragon.
Yeah, they had some good iconic pieces in there.
Black Skull Dragon, that guy. I mean, even if you didn't play the fusions, you just looked at that card, you're like, Red Eyes with Summon Skull? Okay.
What? Yeah. But to be fair, I love the Thunder Dragons, and it was so tough for me to get them because they're super short prints.
Yeah, they're short printed. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like the only person at the time playing a light deck, so I had like Thunder Nanyans and Emissary Light because I was a broke boy.
Yeah, dude, I still play that card.
Yeah, 1900 attack, was it 500 defense? It was a pretty good card, but
it was the budget Gemini elf.
Yeah, you over here like living life. I think you had and then I tried to spruce it up. I finally got some cyber dragons, and because they were light, and I had a light deck and a water deck, and then that was it.
Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like I said, the Yu-Gi-Oh still never makes much sense to me. I just like that I can buy cards that are nostalgic to me
Yeah.
for fairly cheap. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Pokemon is nostalgic, but I look at what it is and I'm like, it's purely an investment vector at this point. It's not like,
yeah, it's the Bitcoin of
yeah,
alternative assets that are like trading cards and collectible toys and stuff like that. Like it's the Bitcoin, and I mean, for the most part, I think it's too big to fail at this point. But the problem is that most of the king makers, the heavy hands, the whales, like they're getting their hands on enough supply, and they know what they're gonna maneuver and make pop and what they're not. And most retailers, it's like the stock market. Retail doesn't really know what's going on. Like it's gonna be market makers who are the whales in this case. They're gonna like buy up something, and then everybody else is going to buy it up too, and then eventually they're going to sell it all for really high, and then you're going to get it, and then it's going to keep going down in price, and then the same cycle all over again.
For my mental psyche, it's been so much better to not just treat cards as collectibles or play like game pieces, and then if I want to invest, I just do the stock market, because that's, at least I know where I stand a little bit, because I don't know, like I'm even selling off some of my Pokemon to buy old Yu-Gi-Oh cards, which is arguably horrible advice. Nobody do that, because I'm just pissing my money away. But still, I look at some of this new stuff and I'm like, you're telling me even the Moonbreons, I'm not selling. I don't have a Moonbreon. I'm not selling it. But this modern, like prismatic, I have like a prismatic ETB box. That's the Pokemon Center one. I'm like selling that so I can buy like old Yu-Gi-Oh grails, which I would prefer, which are objectively rarer and nostalgic cards compared to this thing that's been mass produced that I don't even know why people like, but they do. Yeah, it's weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was gonna say, I think that to me it's the opportunity cost, because a lot of times when people are talking about like Pokemon and it's only going up, yeah, but it only goes up, but like the opportunity to sell it, like sell a lot of stuff, like a lot of people have like these prices and they're on these like arbitrary like platforms that are saying like, oh, it's worth this now, but they have a lot hard time selling it or moving it and turning that into some type of liquidity. And then two, you're like, I don't have enough liquidity to buy the next thing, because you normally want to roll it over into something else to continue to kind of like the stock market. Like if you sell some shares or if you sell like an option, you normally roll that into something else and you can continue to kind of exponentially increase what you just did. But you don't really know. It's all it's super speculative, and you have to work to do so. Like you have to have the connections. You have to be at the place. You have to walk the conference halls. Stock market, you just kind of like do the research. If the fundamentals look good, if it's in a pretty solid industry, for the most part, it will go up and to the right.
That's exactly what I've been doing. I've just been playing like penny stocks, bro.
Yeah.
Penny stocks on companies that are involved with semiconductors or rare earths. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This isn't what people come to this podcast for.
Yeah.
Like it's, by the way, super risky behavior. I don't advise anybody into it.
This is not financial advice.
But I also consider it to be safer than whatever the heck's going on in the world of Pokemon or trading cards. So who knows? But like,
you just don't have to do the work. You literally can put something in there and then you can see, you can track it, and most times it'll eventually increase. And if you want to, you can sell, and you can see, and you can have that gain in your hand or on your card. Like if you have like Robinhood, you can sell the shares. It goes to your debit card. It's pretty simple.
And no disrespect to anybody that monitors their, I think it's hilarious. Like I'll hop on these Reddits and they have like Pokemon investment Reddit or whatever it's called. And they monitor, they literally call their Pokemon collection their portfolio, and they'll look at their portfolio, their Pokemon portfolio on this collector app, which is, to be honest, the data that it tracks is, well, it's not at parity with what the market is 1-to-1, and then also it's not accounting for people's time and the fees that are incurred through eBay, along with shipping, and then also the inherent risk of processing a sale.
Yeah.
There's so many things that you take on through like the actual market dynamics of being involved with TCGs, where you consider it a like investment vehicle, that I'm just like, forget it. Like I just want, I want my little collection of the things that I really like, and if they go up over time, great, we love that, perfect. But otherwise, you at least for me, I got to be at terms where like I'm stuck with this junk forever. Which I do have some of that stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm stuck with this.
Yeah,
I'm stuck with
there's
this
a part of
junk
me that wants to
forever.
burn it. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, just to space it out. Like
Yeah.
I will say though, just to be honest, like being and working the booth with Dylan, with Kai Metakai, man, it is phenomenal. Like I did get to see things move, and he's like, oh yeah, this is gonna move here, and then stuff that he's told us, and it's like, oh no, it's moved, like the bubble mew. English, Japanese, don't matter. That thing was gone. The one thing that he did tell us that I swear I'm upset about is the
Fat Pikachu. Yeah.
That Van Gogh Pikachu. I saw a woman just straight up come to here, $1,000 PSA 10 or PSA 9, I think PSA 9, and she, was willing to buy. So there are pieces that are like that, but I also do see that there is like stuff that just is there. That
it has fundamentals though, right? Like it's tied to good art. You could trace it back to the Munch. I don't know if you're familiar with like the Munch Scream Pikachu. So like there is it has some level of like, okay, this is
Pikachu.
This has Pikachu tied to fine art, even if it is a higher print run than the Screams. Doesn't matter. You can almost argue that the Van Gogh is a more recognizable art.
Yeah,
I feel like a safe bet, but
yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that's and it's like that with certain pieces. But I think a lot of people are trying to game the system by holding a lot of sealed sealed as well, but holding a lot of like
it's the
certain
seal
pieces, and it's oh, I'm gonna get this thing and it's gonna go well, and it's like, no, the king makers make the kings, and they make the stuff that works well. Like I love gold stars, and they spiked out of nowhere to me. I don't know do you know what the reason why they came out of? I just like the art of gold star stuff. But
so gold stars are interesting. There's like Gold Star Entei is actually known to be a market manipulated product, specifically where Gold Star Entei has had a lot of it's known to be a card that has thousands of it that exist, but they're also, I think, hoarded by an individual. I forget the exact story, but look up Gold Star Entei. There's a whole story on it, and to me, it's actually a big market indicator of like how I feel about certain TCG cards within the Pokemon space. Yu-Gi-Oh is not exclusive to that either. I just look at it in a different way because, like, I can tell you this: when you look at a card and you go, "Okay, this card's worth $1 in its first edition form or whatever," or shoot, even $100 or less, chances are you're not going to even go through the I don't know, the process of market manipulation on it. You would rather look towards things that are higher value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's an interesting story there. I'd love to share that on this podcast. I just don't want to misreport any of the information. People go like, well, actually, you're wrong.
You're incorrect. You're incorrect. No, it's fascinating to me, but I will say that I applaud anybody who's running the circuit, like the event circuit, selling, who's doing, who's hustling at the collecticons or whatever it is, because it is tough. Having those kids bombard you 24/7, trade up challenges, and they are ripping you off. They're like, hey, can I give you this one shiny EX card for your most valuable Poncho Pikachu? And I'm like, I'm not an idiot.
Now let me clarify too, like that's the business side, and that's not so much like the collector investor side, where I think if you have enough inventory and churn, it's actually a healthy, like it's a self-sustainable thing. But if you're a guy, one dude who's not really working a booth or having a business out of it, it's a different dynamic altogether as well. So I don't know, like, if you're just hoarding a bunch of sealed, like I saw photos of a guy in Malaysia who's just been hoarding modern Pokemon that, to a point. The answer is yeah, that product is worth more now than when he may have bought it for, but there's no way I can't look at that and be like, is there that much demand for a Scarlet and Violet set or a Sword and Shield set when we're just like 2 or 3 years out? Like, are people even it's not rare, right? It's not old.
Yeah, it's not old.
And then the mintiness of it doesn't even matter because these cards go straight to PSA. So like this is totally like an SM Pratt E4 mentality, but I totally believe in that from a pure value standpoint, that the only thing that truly matters long term is older minter rare.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm just trying to get a gauge because at this point I'm trying to be a lot smarter with my time in TCGs and CCGs, and Pokemon was a cool like experiment in terms of learning a little bit about the financial aspect of it. But I'm done with for the most part with Kickstarter TCGs. The money isn't there just in general because I've been holding on to boxes and stuff like that forever for stuff that you should hold this, and it just doesn't do what it's
I am picking up, embarrassed to say, maybe I am picking up some old Metazoo. So,
but that's different. That's way different.
But I'm picking up on the cheap too. Like I bought a what is it, top 16 Spirit Tower promo.
Yeah,
I bought it for I think $10. I said, okay.
Oh, you can't beat that. But also, like, there's a lot of stuff that I wish I could picked up from Quote. Like, if they had any of the trophy card, any of the other ones, like
that's what I was picking up. Yeah,
that stuff is a little bit nostalgic to me. But other than that, there's nothing. I mean, I got most of the secret rares. I got as much native as I wanted.
I want those native secrets. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they're kind of cool.
But I'm not willing to pay like, secret rare prices for them.
Yeah, at this point, it for anybody who does have one, it's no point unless you're getting like
lock them away.
Yeah, you just might as well just keep it if it's not like if somebody was trying to lowball me on, I think what was it, a Green Man or or one of the other ones, the other secret rares, and I'm like, or the Mothman, the whatchamacallit Mothman, the
Hero Quest.
No, the from Kuromi.
Oh, the Kuromi secret.
Yeah, I'm like,
and you keep that, bro.
Yeah, there's nothing you can, like that card. Also, some of the stuff I was hunting for the game because you needed to, but like red inks and blue inks and stuff like that. Like at this point, those are worth at least a minimum of 1,000. Like blue ink, maybe not, but red ink for sure.
Red ink for sure. Yeah, it has I don't know. We'll see. I've said this before. Listen, the Metazoo audience maybe not. Sure, there'd be 300 players on an event, but that's not the true full scale of the Metazoo audience. But let's say even if it was 300, right? Let's just say there's 300 fans of Metazoo, and it's shrunk or grown, whatever, for old Metazoo. Those 300 folks at some point, and I truly, truly believe this down to my core, is that we are going to have enough sense memory or enough like was it object permanence, whatever the term is, but like we have all experienced such a depth to old Metazoo that we will be nostalgic for it. It might not be now, it might not be 3 years from now, 4 years, 5. I reckon probably in our 40s we'll look back and be like, dang, I wonder if I could pick up some old Metazoo cards. I liked Metazoo. I want to see some of these things you just couldn't get again. They're just gonna they won't be on eBay. There won't be the Discord forum. People have moved on, and then you're gonna look for these things, and there might be like 2 on eBay, and whatever the prices for them on eBay are just gonna be what you're gonna have to pay.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, that's also the other thing is there's just not a lot of like liquidity it's just not enough buyers at certain price, and people are too stubborn. Eventually, they'll never. It'll get to a point where you can't go so low without taking a massive loss, and most people won't. They can't justify it, so it'll just stay on eBay. It's like some of those crazy Pokemon cards that are like $50,000, and it's like you can't go any lower than that, and you don't have enough people to buy it. So
It's whatever the next person will undercut you for, if they will undercut you, or they'll try to match the price or slightly undercut you. That's how that typically goes. I mean, I'll say this though, like your bulk product, your main set stuff, I don't see that ever really rebounding. Maybe it will, who knows? But I did buy I bought a master case of UFO for $8.
oh, you can't beat that.
I mean, even if even if I just throw it away, it's worth the $8 for me to put it in the bin just to say that
I did.
I threw away a full master case for $8. Now, I'm not saying I would or just the rip. If you're just bored, if you're just straight bored and you want to just toss a bunch of stuff in the trash, that's fine. I have a kid, so to me, he's gonna, send him to school with some
with some 10 cards.
We got Pokemon at home.
What's this game? Oh, it's Metazoo.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? Then he's gonna get to explain to all his friends like, oh, my dad was amazing at Metazoo, and this is really cool game with cryptids, and then put a spin on things. But I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, anybody who lived through the golden era of Kickstarters is gonna have some nostalgic feel, because you attempted to try something different. You didn't do the traditional new trading card game that was made by Richard Garfield or had his stamp of approval. You went into the Wild Wild West, the crazy rodeo gypsy fiasco of
that's what made it so fun though, man. It was so sketch.
Yeah, and there's so many things that came from this, and hopefully you left with more knowledge and more money or opportunities, or at least a little bit more wisdom than you started out with. And I think we're in a good spot overall.
Yeah, I don't want to turn this into like the Metazoo bashing hour either, but like, man, it kind of like, I think there's a lot of people that will look at the things that I said about Metazoo and be like, dang, you're just a hater no matter who says he's a hater. But like, it's just hard to watch. It's hard to watch. Like, I want nothing. I have a personal interest. Look, it's in my benefit for Metazoo to succeed. So that's why it hurts so bad to see the bag get fumbled hard.
You see it, and I don't think that you're doing anything like, you're not being nefarious in your critique. I think you're being very fair, honest, and the more people watch or at least see the criticism it's not unwarranted. It's warranted. Some of the stuff that they're doing, I hear nothing about it. Like, I saw a little bit about the dark set, but you had a small opportunity to really gain people back. Also, people are just struggling. Like, this is crazy time to be trying to
get the economy right now is in shambles, bro.
Yeah, you're trying to get a trading card game off the ground with subpar, terrible brand recognition and a negative user sentiment, but you also had a very small opportunity to capture all the people that you lost, and you didn't really listen. You didn't have a competitive scene, because most of the people who played were slightly competitive, and you could have forced some kind of pressure on local game stores, or at least like for people to feel like you were legitimate. Like, it'd be different if you came out with a new game and you had 40, 50 people who want to play in person, but you don't even have that. You have everybody just telling you what they want to hear.
Yeah, it's really strange, because like, I mean, I hope it all works for the best. The Torrential Tides had some cool looking cards in there.
It does,
the game itself is a fun game, but like, if you have no, they said they would deliver on OP this summer, I think, is when they said they would have done it. Here we are.
They said it was going to be like Q2, Q3, like they're going to do stuff, and it's or Q3, Q4, and it's looking like they're not going to have anything.
Okay.
And I don't want to hear about nothing, because Dylan and I went to Miami
Yeah.
That's when they announced that was their first convention. They said that they were going to have something. That was at the beginning of the year. They said that they're going to have something Q3, Q4. We haven't heard anything. It's a waste.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, that Metazoo's got a lot of good going for it, but if they don't get people to play, I'm a broken record on this. I think we say it on every episode, but if they can just, for whatever reason, get past that, but I think the damage is done. It'd be really hard to dig themselves out of this situation. We're looking at, I saw boxes sell for Torrential Tides go for like $35 a box. I mean, it was 70 for 2 boxes, I think I saw on the auction, and that might be an outlier, but even still, if that's your outlier, the median can't be much better. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's the financials of it. I'm just like, people don't want boxes. I mean, I'm sitting on a bunch of boxes I wish I could have given back. I mean, that and some of the magazines.
No, the magazines. Yeah.
Idiot.
I bought some of those. I was like, oh yeah, alpha packs. That sounds cool. I'll hold on to a few of those. But this is probably the biggest critique, and the one that I can speak on them the best, is that their marketing has just been atrocious.
After old girl left, not to call her old girl, but what's her name? Susan. I mean, we haven't heard anything. We don't know what they're doing with Collecticons. We don't know what they're doing with events. We don't know nothing, and it's just kind of gone slowly downhill, or not slowly, rapidly downhill from there.
Absolutely, yeah. Just zero. I mean, not to call out old boy, Charlie, but listen, one of the comments in the Metazoo Mondays was like, if we could do any kind of marketing, any kind of advertising, and the response is like, oh, we're not Pokemon with millions of dollars of budget. You don't need that. You could do a Mike Waddell PowerPoint YouTube video that feels like circa 2004, and people would still be hyped about that because it's something, right?
Actually, the best thing that they did was the game that they built through sequel, the scavenger hunt, where it was,
that was cool. Yeah,
I'll give them kudos for that. I was impressed.
That was awesome, but I don't know if that was if it was really marketed though. Like I don't think it was presented. Maybe it was. Who knows?
No, it seemed like it was more like an internal thing.
Some people got it on Discord.
Yeah, if you were part of the club, you saw it, but it wasn't something that was syndicated. They need ways to draw people to the game, and it's they're not doing a phenomenal job at that. I mean, but then again, I felt like they rushed it. I felt like they was like, oh well, if anybody with half a brain knew what to do with Metazoo, then we'll make this $1 trillion company. But I always said, if you go back to my video, the hoop snake dreams, without Mike, I felt like you need a good cult leader, and without Mike, him and his like semi-awkward Collecticon, walking and then sitting behind the booth, and then him
the shaving your head with the denim jacket, man. That's cult leader energy.
Yeah, we're missing that, and that's what's the problem, is that you can't get behind it. And even some cult leaders, they don't do everything right, but what they will do is they'll galvanize and bring people together for a particular reason, and they know how to like make people feel together, even in the midst of him doing stuff that is not, the best from an optics standpoint, like taking that man's statue. He had people fighting tooth and nail to protect him.
Yeah. Defending, like, he deserves it, or that guy deserved it, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, so cool. We're all bought in. Nah, I mean, listen, best of luck. Hope they do something cool sooner rather than later. And maybe it doesn't matter, right? They're all bankrolled by a supposedly very wealthy company. But I can tell you this much. Even if your company pulls in millions and millions of dollars each year, at some point they do cut ties. It doesn't matter how much money you have backing you. Like,
you can't continue to take losses. Your roadway, like, again, for those who are listening, if you're doing a startup or anything like that, normally you're either bootstrapped and you have like either a certain amount of funding, which will probably be the people who put money into the pot. They paid it so they could get the IP, so they could have legal control of what's going on in the inventory. But they had to have a roadway for a certain amount of time that encompasses like how much it takes to make product, pay staff members, pay vendors, like your conferences and conventions and stuff like that. And so they are, normally you have that kind of baked in. So you might have normally you're supposed to have like a 2 to 3 year roadway already baked in, but some people play it a little bit closer if they don't have a lot of funding, and some people have a lot more depending on how much. Like Kickstarters, you that money is supposed to be used to get your product to being production ready, but also extend your roadway if you do it correctly. But I don't know what their financials were on this.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that their next set, Secret Shadows, does slap. We'll see. Box is already selling for what, $80, I think, 80, 90. MSRP is supposed to be 120. We'll see where we go from there. It is somewhat unfortunate, and I get why the release is for November 24th, but talk about potentially like an unoptimal release date when you have Thanksgiving and then you're leading into Christmas. That's gonna be tough.
Like, this is a time to drop a set or drop something, but also around this time is when people are doing pre-orders. So a lot of trading card game companies are doing their like a Hallmark set or something at the very end of the year, and they're pre-ordering it so you can they can lock in their prices before, or lock in revenue before it hits the holiday season. Like, that's what I've seen from a cadence from a lot of trading card games, is they might have the standard every 3 months, every quarter have a new set, and then on the Q4, which if we use just the US kind of business cycle, they'll at the tail end of Q3 or Q2, they'll start to hint out in Q4 they have another set, like a massive set, and then they'll get you to pre-order it. I don't know. I think that's what Sorcery did with the Dragon Lord set.
Yeah, I mean, Sorcery's on a different tip altogether, I think, but I also don't so Gothic's coming out December 5th for Sorcery, and I also don't think that's a great idea, but maybe I'm wrong. I just know that the way that LGSs tend to function, maybe we're not in this world anymore, but like for them to hit their pre-order windows, they have to be looking like a month or two in advance to like lock down how much money they can spend on a new set. And if you're to do December 5th at this point, I feel like the train's left the station. Maybe I'm wrong. You tell me what you think on that.
But I think it might be a little late. I mean, granted, the people who are playing a lot of the Kickstarter games are actually like super, super, super invested in those games, and they're not, playing anything else yet, or they might be dabbling in some other stuff, and so all their finances might be solely dedicated towards that game. There's very few Kurtz that are like, I'm playing this and I'm playing this and I'm playing this. Most people are like, I'm playing this and going all in. It is what it is. And so there might be some credence to them doing it December 5th, but I don't know how they're going to expand their pot. Like, I don't see how they're getting new people into the game. Like, I use my anecdotal experience as maybe a barometer, but in Austin, I was going to travel 30 minutes to play. There's no more reason. There's no more area places to play. We had a good group of like 6 or 7 people, but we can't do that anymore. So
yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, like I said, see how it all plays out. I think I'm really excited for Gothic 4 Sorcery. I think that's awesome. I think they're a little overdue on their one set a year at this point. I don't really count the Dragon Lord as like as
a set.
Yeah. So I think it'll be all right though. I don't know. Like, people do seem there's a community for Sorcery, and they'll show up. They have OP, right? They have a reward system built in. They have regionals. It's enough to actually keep the game alive during these periods, which feel like a lull. So if Metazoo wakes up, they say, hey, let's do OP, and the OP is worth a damn, then maybe all this is, water under the bridge.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm just upset because Sorcerer was kind of cool, and then then they just dropped the ball. Yeah,
They took too long. That's what I'm saying. It's all, I believe in momentum, just
yeah,
across all things in life, and to not capture lightning in a bottle, you need these moments to really build that momentum. I don't know what it looks like for the longevity of these indies. It's really hard to say, but I think the TCG industry as a whole is really hurting across the board. It's hard to, it would be disingenuous to not acknowledge that. I think we're I think a lot of people haven't fully realized that yet, but more to come, I'm sure.
yeah. Well, I'll be excited. I mean, I'm still bullish on one of the Kickstarter games to emerge and be a big major player, but it's going to be tough because the major the key individual that's heavily focused in Kickstarters, they're silently struggling. Like, I mean, I just know people. I've been around. I'm listening. I'm tapped into lots of different speculative markets, and people are just struggling silently. There's not nearly as many, like, people are still participating in some of their hobbies, but they're not nearly thriving as what we saw in years past. And so I'll be monitoring that closely because that's huge for the Kickstarter industry. Like, people who play Magic or play Magic all the time just because, and also they have enough of the cards and supply that it's cheap for them overall. You and Yu-Gi-Oh, people who have enough Yu-Gi-Oh cards, it's cheap for them. But to get into Kickstarter games, there's typically a supply and demand issue that causes things to be a little bit more inflating and for people to get in.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with all new card games. I'm not interested unless if I can make, the only thing that can get me in it is if I can make a buck to offset the cost that I'm taking on by picking up the game, which is, I don't know if people really understand that as a concept, but that's how this works. It's like, hopefully by now I'm very much not like, I like playing card games. I just don't like paying for them. That's the moral of Ed's story here. And the reason why I like the Yu-Gi-Oh is just because it's cheap as hell. Like, the cards are cheap. I like them because of that. Now, I look at any of these new Kickstarter games, and the cards are usually expensive-ish, right? Or I need to know that, like, I can get something out of the game if I'm to play it.
Right. It's gotta be something. Like, I gotta be able to recoup that value, or I gotta be having some serious fun, and I can play and have a group of friends local. Because that's the multiplier.
I'm not playing on TTS. We're done.
Yeah, if I can play locally, then I'm 10 times more likely to evangelize and be a regular. But if I can't do that, if you can't even mobilize me to play locally, or at least like start off on TTS and then play locally, then hey, it is what it is. And I get mad because Metazoo actually did it. They had like hotbeds around the country.
They had people playing, and
They had the thing that none of these Kickstarter games have. None of them.
and it was almost kind of smart. I know people hated it at the time, but like, to have that caster cup, but force people to get gameplay at an LGS, where it's like, oh yeah, you can't play in caster cup unless
you go here.
yeah, I don't know. It's kind of what you need to an extent.
Yeah.
That and direct to consumer for sure needs to happen, but that's another combo. Outside of Metazoo and Indies, I want to touch on Cookie Run a bit. That's a game I've been playing with Kurt at Bar Locals, and I'll say this: Cookie Run's a lot of fun, man. It is. We've talked about it on here before. My understanding, I know nothing about the IP, so y'all correct me if y'all know about it. But it's a Korean app that people have that you can, I guess, collect and play as different types of cookies. I don't know. I purely just like the gameplay, though. It's genuinely a fun game. I know that there's more, like, mechanically, it's probably one of the better games I've ever played. or whatever that's worth. I was going to, and this might shock you, I was going to pay to go to a pre-release. They canceled the pre-release twice on me, so now I'm not interested in going to that pre-release that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Instead, they made it a constructed event, and I'm not buying constructed decks because I'm not planning on going to any tournaments. But they're doing like a 30K in Orlando coming up, which is pretty big. And then, I don't know. There's already a pre-existing IP for it, so it has a leg up that people actually enjoy. And then, and they just recently launched Pixelborn just recently launched their online app, which is really cool too. There'll be an Apple or Mac version out next week, so you can play it on Windows and Mac, and that app's really slick for play testing Cookie Run. I don't know. It's not TTS, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, we practiced on TTS a little bit, but yeah, it's only if Pexaborn next layer up, that's another easy way to get people in. So they said they're close to being done, so I can't complain. I'm happy. I'm excited about hearing about that.
I think it is done for Windows, actually.
Yeah.
Like, it's the Mac folks that don't have it, but soon enough. We're used to that kind of treatment.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, Cookie Run's looking good. Gothic.
Yeah.
I want to play Gothic. There's a pre-release coming up not too far from me over in Denton, Texas at Giddm Games. That said, I don't think a lot of people have that luxury to participate in a pre-release for Sorcery. I know that the store that I would go to is very much an outlier within the broader Play network, but that it is good to just have these in-person events to go to and play in and actually participate. I was out on Arthurian Legends mostly because they didn't have precons. I'm not interested in. I just want to buy booster boxes, dude. It just seems like such a crazy thing to me that even as a kid, I always look at myself now and be like, "Wow, you just opened a whole booster box all at once." That would have blown my kid mind because back then I'd be like,
"Oh, one pack was like a week's worth of chores and stuff like that."
Yeah.
When you're able to get a box, when I used to do that for the Magic pre-releases, and then they used to give you the card with it that was exclusive to the pre-release, and then I used to stay up all night playing, and man, Kid Easton would have been like so proud of where I'm at now because I have my own box and I can open up all 24 packs. As a kid, you used to look at those kids, the adults or even the rich kids that had the boxes when they were like opening them up, and you're just like, dang, I'll never get there. And then you finally do. You spend your hard-earned $120, $100, $120 with tax. You're like, I'm pod racing.
To think about the price of a booster box now versus then, though, I'm curious. Like, if you were to adjust for inflation, I think booster boxes are probably cheaper now.
Oh, absolutely. Because a box back then was like minimum 100 and some change.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least 100
minimum.
But just adjusting for inflation, you'd surely be like in the 160, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Minimum. Yeah, at least now for sure. Probably a little bit more. I think they've gotten cheaper over the years. Like,
yeah,
and they didn't come with nearly as much stuff. Like, you can buy a box now, get a card, or get some exclusive stuff with it. Back then, it was just like, all right, you get in a box and you get in ahead of time. And that used to be the coolest thing, seeing the people come in on a Wednesday afternoon, especially if you're somebody who went to the card shop during the weekdays. And I was more normally a week in person, but I'd every now and then be able to come on a weekday and see them like walk in and get their box, and they're like opening it up.
Yeah, I would be that weird kid that'd be like, "Can I watch you open your box?" And I realized that was looking back on it, I'm like, that's kind of awkward. But
did they ever let you open a pack?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you can open this one. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah, those are the little moments that saves your life.
Yeah, I was like, dang, I got to open the pack. Yeah, okay, cool.
Oh man.
Yeah. But anyways, I look back on it. I'm like, dang, I'm gonna open this whole box. It feels like I'm gorging, like I'm like overeating. Like I feel almost like I don't know, guilty about it in my mind. I'm like, dang, I can't believe I just opened all that at once. But
Yeah.
that's probably like an old like a personal guilt thing I gotta work
No,
through. But
I think it's a lot of us who are like, if we were broke or we couldn't have cars back in the day, you know, that was kind of like we made it past middle class, like we're upper middle class now, like we're comfortable because I can buy a box and I can open it on my own accord if I wanted to.
yeah, that's it. That's the fact that's an option just blows my mind. But
It's like knowing the difference between like when you get old enough to like a $5 bill to you when you're a kid is like that's like wealthy. Then $20 is like I got a $20 bill for Christmas. Then it's like, all right, I need like $50 to actually start doing stuff in high school and college. And then you start spending $100 and you're like, all right, this $100 isn't, it's a lot, but it isn't the worst. Like I've gone on a dinner date and it's like more than
oh man, yeah, I don't know where those dates have gone to. That stuff's become so expensive. Let me tell you.
yeah, you can't even get on a dinner date for a nice dinner date for $100 or less.
You're like, sh- she's like, yeah, I'll have another cocktail. I'm like, honey,
You're
I
like,
think we got cocktails at home.
home, this drink is $15.
Yeah, it costs the same as the entree. I'm telling you, man. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know how we
drink,
got there, but the drink, the
that's how
drink
they
costs
get
the
you.
same as the meal.
Three drinks will be like $45. I'm like,
Easily, easily.
uh-uh. And you're like, it ain't even that much. It's like this.
Yeah, yeah. It's mostly in the case of margarita, it's mostly slushy with a little bit of alcohol.
Yeah, they get you every time. They hit you over the head with them prices. But you do it to make everybody happy. And you maybe if you drink enough, if you spend enough money, you feel good, you're having a good time, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, man, those margaritas we had in Austin, by the way, those are great. I forget
I'm
the name of that
telling
place. That place had good margaritas.
what when we went to the Cosmic.
Cosmic, yeah, shout out Cosmic,
Yeah,
viewers of the podcast.
we go to Cosmic Coffee. Yo,
Yeah,
we were feeling good in Austin. We had a good time.
those margaritas were amazing. So shout out. I mean, like I said, yeah, you pay for the experience, and I think that's even a through line with TCGs too, right? It's experiential. Like
Hmm.
at the end of the day, if you're just cracking them at home and you're not doing anything with them, then that's not what this is all about.
Right, right. No, I agree. I agree.
I mean, on that experiential bit too, right? You've been traveling, you've been kind of going to these in-person events. I
Yeah,
I think that's the true strength to these TCGs, right? Getting people in the same room, getting them to play with each other. If you don't have OP, if you don't have a reason to get people going to the LGS or even just playing in paper, then what do you have?
you have absolutely nothing. That being said, I also think that there's like it's almost a paywall. Like even when you think about going to these major events, like Gen Con is a major paywall for a lot of people because there you get exclusive information and exclusive stuff for the future iterations of trading card games and the industry and all this other stuff. The national is the one for sports cards. Like you, and it's like that with everything. A lot of people are wanting to stay in their bubble or in their area, and the secret sauce is going to the location because even if you're not able to like win a tournament or anything like that, you're able to have a little bit more exposure, so you're more well-rounded and have way more data points and information than competitors or even people who are not there. That's what I realized going to conferences for work and going to and working in these kind of speculative industries is that being in people aren't sharing the secret online or anymore nearly as much because you know it comes with a lot of I guess scrutiny. You could get either like if you're on YouTube and you're telling somebody this is the way or this is good, somebody's gonna say no, and then it's gonna get into some large thing. But
Yep.
they're more comfortable by sharing what they know in person and having these like intimate connections and like being there. Don't if you can go there. Go there, network, connect, and your life will be a lot better by doing so.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to go to a big convention this year. I've gone to the local ones, the Collecticon, but that's a different story altogether too. I do miss the fact that Collecticons, even 2 years ago, you used to be able to go to like maybe it was just Metazoo, I don't know, but like having a tournament at one of these conventions just makes so much sense, and I feel like we're missing that a little bit.
Yeah, there's not a lot of major events at these tournaments either, but also it keeps the money isolated to the trading card game. So if I have my own event, I can funnel all the money through the side events, through my own maneuvering and distributing my product, and I can ensure that it's like all in-house. Whereas if I have it at a major event, then I have to pay them for the space. I still have to give the product, have to come up with the prize. I might get some cross-pollination by people viewing me and seeing me differently, but from a strictly revenue or even just a brand standpoint, I lose a little bit of that allure. And think about it like with the towers, like although they were small, they were all in-house. They probably got better pricing. They kept everything in. I think it's a different methodology, but it keeps everybody together. Whereas like if we go to another event, if we go to SCG Con and we're like, oh, we're the small fry and other trading card games, we lose somewhat legitimacy. Like there is a level of ignorance and bliss that we had because we were like, we're this pocket of 300 people or 200 people or we had 100 and some people at the Flame Tower and we were like, oh, this is big time. But then you go to like Magic Con and you have shoots well over 1,000 people or a Pokemon regionals or One Piece regionals, and you're like, this is nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know what the solution is. You kind of need to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. You got to start somewhere and you got to have an event. You have to have either good grassroots people or you have to be committed from a top-down approach. Either you're going to have people working like we were with Caster Society, or you're going to have somebody at the top say, hey, we're going to put a commitment to having these events and growing it, even if it's at a loss to us the first year, 2 years that it may happen.
Man, y'all with the Caster Society, that old dude didn't know how good they had it though. Let me tell you, somebody to do all that free work
for free.
For free?
So free.
Man. Yeah. What would you tell any other like folks that are kind of looking at indie TCGs right now? I guess, is there any advice you'd have? Given the general market outlook and where your head's at?
Believe in something and save up for the rainy day. I think that a lot of people, again, like I said, there are a lot of individuals who are struggling silently. Like things are okay, but they're not getting by with as much disposable income and time as they once were. And you need to be preparing for that moment when if you have something that unfortunate that pops up, being prepared for that moment, as well as one of these trading card games you're gonna have to believe the other side of the coin with being like a carny or a trading card game flipper, a flip flopper, or going from game to game, is that you don't really believe in anything. Like you're super like fair weather, and it helps you not get burned too much, but it also prevents you from actually planting roots and growing. And so I would say, hey, eventually you're gonna have to believe in something. Even if your belief is wrong, you can take that knowledge and apply it to your next experiment, your next belief. But you have to believe in something. If you're always like, I'm 1 foot out, I'm 1 foot out, I'm 1 foot out, and you'll never reap the reward of being committed. Like the people who commit, like let's just say if you're some trading card games are like a meme coin.
Yeah.
The people who never commit all the time miss out on it ever blowing up. because those people who do are the ones who believe, and they wake up one morning and they see like their life has changed. But if you're always like, I don't know, you never pulled the trigger to really get in to maximize on your speculation. So I still don't think you should go all in. It's like if you want, again, if you're doing a meme coin or something like that, a couple $100, something that is not going to hurt your bank is good. But people put their life savings on it, and that's when it ends up being bad. So,
But like, what's the criteria for like, okay, now I know the thing that I should go all in on? Is it something that do you think it's something you have to organically like, oh, I just like this thing? Or is it, you're looking at it from a pure, like, this has good fundamentals. I see that there's an IP tied to it and the game's looking really strong. They have OP. Is there anything else in there that should be considered? Or are you just kind of thinking like maybe it's a little bit more based on vibes?
yeah, I would say it's the fundamentals. So think about it like this: like there's a foundation of what every trading card game needs to have. It needs to have a game that's playable, that's somewhat enjoyable, that has a rules engine,
Yeah.
and that's from the base. Then you have to have, I have the team. I have to have somebody who's committed to improving the gameplay, to testing out the cards, to building that out. Then you have to have like, I have to have a good Discord mod. I have to have the CEO who's somewhat charismatic, cult leader like, and willing to take sacrifices, but also pour into the game. And then you start adding on the bells and whistles. Oh, the IP. Well, they're doing collabs and partnerships, and then the theme, like Metazoo, the novelty behind it is that the cryptids, there's no like copywriting or anything like that. So it's cool. You can just keep putting that out. That makes sense. Oh, anybody can do this. Now we're just gonna put like some bells and whistles. Oh, we have Sam Sinclair. You have to have the fundamentals first. Then you have like the intangibles. It has, the good thing about Metazoo, it had the fundamental. Well, it didn't have the fundamentals, and then it gained the fundamentals. But within gaining the fundamentals, the idea was just super viral. It didn't have all the trading, even when Kevin was like writing out the articles like I was reading, originally it didn't have all the stuff. Kevin improved it. So that was one of your fundamentals there. That was your foundation. Mike brought him in. Then you had the playtesting team. Then you had people like who are on the Discord who were building that out.
So the community features for sure.
Yeah, then the community starts to flesh out. Then you had a lot of people in the community do grassroots stuff. I built out a wiki page. I built out this, a card repo, all this other stuff. Then really the community built out a lot of the fundamentals that they didn't have, but the few fundamentals that Mike did bring on were really good, like bringing on the playtesting team and OP and all that other stuff.
Yeah, in some ways, I know they're peer pressured into it, but I think it's up to the community. I think so much depends on the community driving the force behind it. I think if there's enough momentum, even if a company's like dragging their feet, and that's kind of my other speculation here on where Metazoo is, where it's like clearly there isn't enough community demand for whatever reason to drive the OP. It's like it's a chicken before the egg situation. Like, do you bring out OP once there's enough pressure from the community to do so? Or do you just bring it out and then hope like Field of Dreams it, right? If you build it, they'll come.
Yeah.
But I think that's the trickiest piece on that one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You also have to have some hype. You have to have some money behind it. And you have to, I mean, it's even then you can have all the fundamentals and it doesn't work. Like there's lots of games that had really strong teams, strong OP, looked like they had things going the right way. They had a good Kickstarter campaign. Yeah. They were bootstrapping this thing and it didn't work. So you can do all the right things, but again, you have to believe in something, and then you can take the knowledge and move that to your next one, because you're just trying to increase your odds. The issue is not getting liquidated. You don't want to get screwed out of being involved into the next thing, and then you're out of opportunity. That's the big issue.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good advice for even in stock market. This is not financial advice.
Yeah, you don't want to get like,
that's how that's been working for me at least. Yeah.
Yeah, when the president announced about the
Oh man, I've been to
tariffs, the China tariffs. It was the largest liquidation event in history.
Yeah,
And
I've been in Dogtown, let me tell you.
Yeah, the problem is you don't want to be liquidated because you can't be in the game if you're liquidated.
Yeah.
You want to stay in the game. So how do you stay in the game in trading card games? You don't overindulge and put too much risk on the table. So you don't put too much money into buying boxes, packs, cards, whatever it is. You're being mindful and listening to what the CEO or the team is saying about the game, about what's going on, what's future events. That stuff is important, because if you don't do that, then you're going to get liquidated when we hear about a bankruptcy. And then also listen, the biggest thing that was happening with Metazoo is, again, myself, Ed, tons of people were telling everybody, hey, this is happening. The liquidation event was the bankruptcy or them closing shop. That was the liquidation event for most people. Look at how many people stopped posting on YouTube, how many people lost so much money in the supply or in pre-orders and whatever it is, because they didn't listen. If you can't be so nose in the air and so green that you don't listen to people when they're talking. As much as we want to talk about Alan the Kraken and all these other stuff, that's other indicators too.
Yeah, you just gotta pay attention. That's all. I mean, it's not like an "I told you so" or whatever stuff, because, right? Like, it's all water. It's water under the bridge. It's more so just like whatever it is, whatever your position might be, you don't need to feel like you're over leveraged. Like, hey, never touching TCGs again because I got burned on this one. Well, that's very unfortunate. I mean, I know that's the case for a lot of people, but you're limiting whatever potential or whatever there might be for you if you, I don't know even the right way to phrase it, but
yeah, you definitely are, like, you for sure.
Yeah,
limiting what the opportunity you have to even, like, I guess we can leave it on this. If you're limiting the opportunity to pivot. Like, people pivot all the time. Businesses pivot all the time before they find what wins. But you also got to pivot within what you're believing in. If you figure out this isn't what it is, I felt like that with Metazoo. As soon as I started to like see text messages and see key YouTubers doing stuff and moving stuff across seas and consigning stuff and making coffee shops that ain't never coffee, I'm starting like, what? And I had to pivot. And so I moved. One of my best deals was I moved a Kickstarter box for a sorcery alpha box. I moved another Kickstarter box for a PC fully stocked, full top tier. There's, again, if you got to listen though, you got to be able to like pivot, and then you do so. Now I could have got out a lot earlier, and made a lot way more, but we win and you lose some.
Yeah, you just gotta be comfortable with your position, but that all makes sense to me.
Yeah, gotta pivot.
Shout out if anybody wants any Metazoo bulk, let me know.
Yeah, I got like a crap ton of Wilderness, a crap ton of Nightfall, some Cryptonation First Edition, even a Kickstarter box.
That's that even during the height, I don't even know how movable that bulk is, but that's whatever.
I mean, there's opportunities if they would have kept the towers going, because the towers made obscure cards somewhat valuable or like sought after.
Yeah, that's what was actually smart about the towers, for sure.
Yeah. Tehihan.
Man. That's what the news is missing more than anything is the just the jank. The jank.
Man, Earth Tower was one of the best because of that. But yeah, we won't get into that.
All right, man. Well, hey, it was good catching up with you. I'm glad we could make this pod happen.
Likewise, we'll get into
Hopefully,
some other stuff later.
yeah, hopefully Kurt will be back on the next and he can give us some more like, you know,
What's going on
what's
currently?
yeah, yeah, exactly kind of news. But
I mean, I think we did a good job. I think we did a good job. I think it's kind of slow. I think there's SCG cons, there's events going on, but I think it's kind of slow right now for everybody. I mean, there's a couple magic sets. You know, it is what it is.
that's right. That's right. We're where we need to be right now for sure. So
Exactly.
all right, man. Well, like I said, good catching up. And
Likewise.
everybody, thanks for tuning in. Till then, thanks for stacking
Exactly.
the
The
deck.
deck. Okay.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.